Hey guys, welcome back to Everlasting Summer. I was approaching the square when I heard a loud bang. It seemed like something bad had exploded. I was paralyzed. I am in a hostile environment, not knowing the rules and laws of this place. It would be better for me to run. But at the same time I was curious. Probably I would have just kept standing there, but somebody grabbed my hand. It was Olga Dmitrievna. Why are you standing here? Let's go and see what happened. Can't you ever manage without me? I begged her pitifully. It shouldn't be anything serious. I hope. When we came to the square, there was already a crowd of pioneers. Olga Dmitrievna vigorously pushed through the crowd and approached the crime scene. The crime scene? What? Obviously someone had tried to blow up Genda. Oh, interesting. But the attackers failed. The monument was still standing upright. There were only dim ash traces on the pedestal. Well, who did this? She looked over at the crowd of pioneers. Surely it wasn't done by an organized terrorist organization. These guys all came here just to look at what happened. I noticed Ulyana and Alisa in the crowd. And it looks like our camp leader noticed them too. You two, come here. They approached reluctantly. Why always me? If you think so. Show me your hands, Dvachevskaya. What's wrong with them? I looked closer and saw that they were smeared with blood. Now it's clear. What did you make a bomb with? Oh! It was her, huh? The junior terrorist seemed to hesitate over whether or not to confess, but then blurted out proudly. Yeah, it was the thing that she took from the infirmary, I guess. Activated carbon, saltpeter, and sulfur. Wait a minute. Carbon. Carbon that she stole from the first aid kit. Why exactly this monument? What did this honored man ever do to you? The fighter for the rights of... I could hardly imagine how long she would have kept on scolding Alisa if Electronic hadn't popped out at the very moment shouting. I found it. Everyone turned towards him. He had a boot in his hand. Here. Electronic boastfully shook it over his head. A Shurik's boot. Ah, we got a clue finally. Okay, calm down. Tell us in detail where you found it. In the forest. On the way to the old camp. Whispers ran among the pioneers. Old camp? Are you sure? Absolutely. What's so special about this old camp? I joined in the conversation. It's nothing special, really. Oh, really, huh? She stammered. One of the Sofyanox legends tells the story of a young camp leader's ghost living there. She fell in love with a pioneer, but he rejected her, and so she killed herself. She committed harakiri with a kitchen knife. Next day, that boy was hit by a bus. Oh, wow. Ulyana went out of the crowd. Bus? I refrained from asking about the route number. Maybe it's 4110, wow, but science doesn't acknowledge the existence of ghosts, so we have nothing to be afraid of. Anyway, somebody should go there. Suddenly the crowd started to thin out. Olga Dmitrievna, it's almost night, maybe tomorrow. I turned around and saw Slavia and Lena. What if at night? What if at night something happens to him? No, today, right now. By the way, where is this place? Electronic roughly described to me the directions and told me the story of the old camp. The camp leader looked at me attentively. You think that you're the only man here. I looked around the area. Of course, Electronic was quick to flee. I still didn't want to walk in the woods alone. If you asked me, I would. Oh, we can pick. Slavia, I guess. Will she agree? I look at Slavia. She paid no attention to me. Looks like it's not my day. Am I going there alone? Olga Dmitrievna looked thoughtful. Perhaps you're right. We'll go together tomorrow morning. We stood in silence for some time, then dispersed around the camp. Everybody seemingly forgot about Alisa and her terrorist act, maybe due to the minor damage it caused. Together with the camp leader, I went towards our cabin. I tried to think of why Shurik would go to the old camp. He is interested in robots and cybernetics, not scary stories and ghosts. What does that bird have to do with that? I remember how I decided to wait until something extraordinary will happen. And then I realized this is it. Maybe Shurik is also a victim of going to the past? Algorithm Trifna, I think I'll take a walk before bed. Just not a long one. Okay. When I reached the square, I understood that hanging around in the forest or some other strange place may not be that scary. By doing so in the dark, I didn't want to return to Algorithm Trifna's cabin, but I had to find a flashlight. For instance, there was one in the infirmary. I was glad I didn't spend my whole time there reading the fashion magazine. The flashlight was found quickly, and in a few minutes I was again standing at the square, pulling myself together. I just had to make the final decision before I entered the forest. Moving past the pioneers' cabins, down the forest path towards the abandoned camp. I set forth. Electronic told me that the old building was built immediately after the war. It looked like a kindergarten, or like a barracks I expected. It definitely could hold fewer pioneers than today's camp. It had been abandoned for about 20 years. Wow, that's a long time. It was now totally dark. The forest looked totally different at night. Mysterious shadows were hiding behind the trees, strange rustlings and the cries of night birds coming from everywhere, branches treacherously snapping under my feet. The full moon was shining, so I decided to save the battery in the flashlight. I'm sure I will need it sometime soon. The further I moved, the more unpleasant thoughts came into my head. I wasn't afraid of the dark at all. I didn't believe in ghosts and other mystical crap. But at the same time, during the last few days, I encountered so many incomprehensible phenomena that I guess I started to read between the lines of the simplest things. Obviously, I felt exceptionally uneasy in the forest at night. Everywhere I looked, every shadow, every tree or bush looked like weird creatures, escaping straight from horror movies or from Stephen King novels. A branch seemed to be someone's hand, eager to grab your shoulder. A fallen log, someone's dead body. Someone who failed to get out of the forest. In every gully I saw a bottomless abyss. If I had found myself in this forest under any other circumstance, without all these bazaars and pioneer camps, of course I would still feel uncomfortable. But then I will be able to explain everything with logic, and be afraid of nothing. Except for owls and mice, of course. Ha. But at the moment there were more than enough reasons to fear. Despite all this, I reached the old camp without any adventures. Yo, boy! That looked like some kind of haunted house, man. And a little glade surrounded by trees to the house resembling a kindergarten. Paint peeled off the walls, almost all the windows were broken. Broken masonry here and there, holes in the roof that looked like those made by a bombing. In front of the building was a little garden, surrounded by a rusty fence. Apparently once it was a playground with merry-go-round, swing slides and other Soviet attractions. But time is cruel. All of them were broken and mutilated by corrosion. The grass was so tall that it almost came out to my waist. The moon looked out from behind the clouds and illuminated the old camp. It seemed like everything came back to life. Windows shone with new glass and walls looked like they'd been painted with fresh paint. I heard playful laughter. What? Oh, boy! Are you serious? Uh-oh. So translucent children joyfully running and frolicking in the yard. A strict camp leader on the threshold, holding a basket with ripe apples in her hands. No cleaning lady taking a nap in the shade. Boy, this is spooky. The sand chills down my spine. Of course, my imagination was just playing tricks, but the old camp itself was so similar to all the post-apocalyptic pictures I had seen that this vision was no surprise. I stood undecided for a long time before I dared to go further. After all, I'm here to find Shurik. Though I still don't get what he might be doing here. If he even is here. A boot somewhere nearby doesn't mean anything. However, if he was not eaten by wolves, for some reason it seemed like there were no wolves in this forest. This must be the only place where he might be hiding. I carefully crossed the yard, pushing the tall grass apart and trying not to bump into a jagged piece of metal. But I stopped in the doorway, hesitating. An impenetrable heavy darkness stared back at me from inside. Even the bright moonlight could not illuminate any object, or even highlight a silhouette. My head was filled out with different thoughts that all said that it's better for me not to go any further and run away quickly. Yeah, you better do that. but I pulled myself together, turned on the flashlight, and stepped over the threshold. Boy, this is some suicide mission. So the building looked like a typical kindergarten. As I remember my childhood days, and so everything here looked very familiar. Sleeping room with lines of beds standing close to each other, a large playroom, toilets, a dining room, and utility rooms. Signs of the past children's joy were seen everywhere. From time to time, the flashlight drew my attention to a decaying doll, or a plastic toy car, or a punctured rubber ball, or a broken wing of tin soldiers. There was a book on the table faded with age. I flipped through a few pages. It was a story I had read a long time ago, back in my childhood. Something about the war. Enemies destroyed the kindergarten and all of its kids hid in the little basement together with a bunch of adults, while bombs were exploding up on the surface. I don't remember the end of the story, but as far as I remember, nobody died. Looking at the illustrations, all the emotions, fear, sadness, sympathy for the poor children, and the sense of hopelessness, which I had experienced while reading this book came over me. It's strange that under exactly these conditions, why here and now that I found this book. Probably there is somebody who manages this ongoing story, who writes the scenario for this absurd play, who sews costumes for the local pioneers and creates sets like this abandoned camp. To tell the truth, he is very talented. Attention is paid to even the most minor of details. Although this place was abandoned a long time ago, everything here seemed to be untouched. Of course, the time didn't spare this camp, and so many years it had often been visited by the locals. Perfect place for young people, just hitting puberty. They could drink alcohol, indulge in amorous pleasures, or simply burn everything down just for fun. Boy, I don't think this is a good place to drink alcohol. What? Are you wrong in the head? Electronic mentioned this place is full of legends. Legends of ghosts and devils living here. Then why are you here, boy? Take for example the story about a camp leader who committed suicide. In my world, nobody would believe that this could stop somebody, but in this reality, anything is possible. Suddenly, the fear didn't disappear, but I decided that since I come here, I was going to carry on to the end. The building was small, so it wasn't difficult to search it completely, but I didn't find any sign of Shurik. Maybe I should just call out to him. But on the other hand, maybe that's not such a good idea. Frustrated, I sat on the bench in the lobby and sighed. Ghost, where are you? I asked the camp, and all of a sudden I noticed a strange depression in the corner. A small trapdoor, and a dog would barely be able to squeeze through it. And it seemed to me that it had been recently opened as the dust was cleared around it. And so here's the part where I need to be scared. So Shurik went somewhere. What might be lurking beneath the trapdoor? A basement. What would he be doing there? I put open the hatch and pointed the flashlight into the darkness. There was a ladder going down a couple of meters, ending in the concrete floor. There was a low, narrow corridor disappearing in the darkness. I hesitated for a long time. On the one hand, I had absolutely no desire to go down there, but on the other hand, if Shurik was really there, then I don't really give a F. I swore loudly and began to descend. Downstairs was so dark that even the flashlight didn't help much. So there's a tunnel out of nowhere. What? A low ceiling, wires extending along the walls, broken lamps clad in iron bars. I've all seen it all somewhere. I slowly started to move deeper into the dungeon. The path went down and after a few dozen meters ended at a stairway with high steps. So then I found myself in front of a massive metal door. What? Are there like money hidden inside? There was a sign painted on it. I looked closely and realized that it was a biohazard sign. No wonder if the old camp was built after the war and it lasted until the 70s. So it's an ordinary bomb shelter and there's nothing to be afraid of. However, those thoughts made me even more scared. I made a decision and opened the door. Oh, no passcode? Which immediately shut with a sharp sound as soon as I stepped through the doorway. I shuddered strongly. My hands began to tremble and my vision dimmed. I regained consciousness after a few seconds, and only then did I realize that apparently a strong spring was attached to the door. I found myself in a quite spacious room. In the beam of the flashlight, I could see a bunk bed, some cabinets along the walls, and several devices of unknown purpose located in the far corner. It seems that this bomb shelter has never been used. Nobody ever came here. The beds were made just strange in itself. I carefully looked around the room several times. The cabinets were filled with gas masks, chemical protective suits, dry rations, various domestic odds and ends. The devices which I at first could determine the purpose of were conscious of radiation, air pressure, and temperature. In short, it was a typical bomb shelter. I'd never been in such a place before, but it was how I imagined it. The only thing that remained unexplored was a door at the other end of the room. I put a handle, but the door remained closed. If someone recently came down here and he wasn't found in this room, then it would be logical to assume that he is behind this door. I called out and whispered, "Shurik." No reply. Maybe he locked himself out. But why? It was unclear what I should do next. Perhaps it would be smarter to come back tomorrow with help. For some reason I had a feeling that behind this door I would find answers that can't wait to be found. I walked across the room and took a crowbar from the corner. I wedged it under the bottom of the door and tried to rip it from its hinges. Oddly enough, after a while I did just that. Fortunately, it wasn't as massive as the previous door. Boy! That's a loud sound. The door gave out and slammed onto the floor. I took a deep breath and pointed the flashlight down the passage. The corridor vanished in the darkness, the same as the one on which brought me here. The walls were closing in, my head almost touched the ceiling, but I could not make out at the end of the corridor. I walked carefully, looking at the ground. This was the reason that I did not fall into the pit. The hole was about 1.5 meters in diameter, and there was earth at the bottom of it instead of concrete. It seems that the hole was caused by an explosion. It wasn't too deep. I could easily climb out later. After I jumped into the hole, I found myself in something that resembled an old mine. The walls and the ceiling were reinforced with wooden beams. The tunnel was so long that my flashlight was insufficient. A few minutes later, I found myself at the crossroads. It's too dangerous to go any further. I could get lost. I decided that it would be a good idea to somehow mark the place from which I would begin my journey into the labyrinth. So I picked up a stone and made quite a big notch on the wall. Oh, crap. Laugh, because I'm left-handed. It seems that there's another fork in the road. Another laugh, I guess. I came to some kind of miner's camp. Pigs and helmets everywhere. A rusty wagon stood in the corner. All the items were so old, they dated from the beginning of the 20th century rather than the middle. So this really is a mine. Which means I could wander around here for ages without finding a way out. But I sensed the exit was somewhere nearby and went further. It seems that there's another fork in the road. Keep going and laugh, I guess. Oh, what? Then maybe I need to go right. Boy. This is weird. Am I stuck in a loop? Fine, I'll just go left, right. Boy, am I stuck here? So I took a wrong turn somewhere, okay. Let's try going right first. And then left. Then right. Right. Left. Right. Oh yeah. And on one last turn, a door appeared from the darkness. I opened it and went inside a small room. Nobody was here to accept. Yo! Shurik, who sat in the corner. And with that creepy face, what is he doing? Shurik! He stared at me with eyes full of terror. Ah, don't come near me. Shurik, it's me, Samyeon. I won't give up so easily. He grabbed a piece of reinforced bar from behind his back and started waving it around. Shurik, what's wrong with you? Calm down. First you bring me here, then you take me through this mine. And now you're pretending to be Samyeon. Boy, is he hallucinating or something? He must have gone completely nuts. Sherry, calm down. Nobody's pretending to be me. I really am me. I tried to talk as calmly as I could, but I was almost feeling more nervous than him. Samyeon? He squinted. Is that really you? Yes, and now tell me what happened. How did you get here? Sherry recovered his breath and started to talk. I needed some parts for the robot, and I heard that there's a bomb shelter in the old camp, and there could be some instruments there. So I got up in the morning and went. He stopped for a minute, trying to deal with the trembling of his hands. I found suitable parts, but then I read primal fear in his eyes. The voices, they told me to go here. I went down the mine, and they were telling me to go to the right, then left, then right, then left, then right, then left. I started to laugh hysterically. But now they won't get me. I'll stay sitting here. They won't find me here. He once again started to wave his pipe in the air. Surely there's no one there. I wasted quite a lot of time walking in the mine like you, but I didn't hear any voices. He fixed his eyes on me. Then you're with them. Oh boy! Shurik rushed towards me. I was just barely able to dodge him. Boy, is this guy nuts? But the flashlight wasn't as lucky. I took the full force of Shurik's blow. We found ourselves in complete darkness. Now it was my turn to lose my mind. What have you done, you idiot? I lashed out with my hand in the direction where I expected Shurik to be, but to no avail. Now we will both die here. I got nothing but silence in return, and then a quite hysterical laugh. It's alright, that's fine. I know where the exit is. Follow me. Follow you where? I can't see a damn thing. Follow my voice. I had no other choice. Here. Shurik's voice was heard from somewhere further on. How do you know where to go? I walked all over here. Then why didn't you leave? The voices. Quiet, they can hear us. In theory, I could believe that there are some supernatural forces here. In the Sophianox camp, they just be a daily occurrence. But there was no reason to panic yet. Though my hands were shaking non-stop. Here. I slowly followed his voice and eventually lost track of time. We could have been roaming for a few minutes or a few hours. Finally, a dim light appeared in the distance. We're here. We reached the wall. The way to its freedom was blocked by a lattice on the ceiling. I pulled myself up and recognized the square from the bits of landscape I could see. Lift me up. Shurik obediently followed my request. I started to hit the grating with my fist so hard that in just a few strikes my arms were all covered in blood. When we turned, the grating gave way and pushed open. Wait, we're back here? What? A minute later, we were out on the surface behind the monument of Ganda. When I saw this grating before, I had no idea that there could be catacombs below it. They will come for you. I fell to the ground, exhausted. Who? They will come. Man, is this guy possessed or something? She shrieked again and ran away. I was so exhausted that I could not even be bothered thinking about some voices or recalling the Forsaken camp, the bomb shelter, or the mine. Almost unconscious, I reached the camp leader's cabin, but I couldn't go to bed right away. Well, look who's here. Olga Dmitrievna. I started tirelessly, attempting to cut the explanation to a minimum. You said you were going for a walk Wednesday, and I was going to go and call the police. Olga Dmitrievna, can I wait until tomorrow? I'm really tired. The camp leader eyed me all over. Okay, fine. I was a bit surprised that she quit so fast, but decided not to waste this opportunity. Quickly turned the light off and darted under the covers. Man, something is off here. What's wrong with that nerd? Day 5. Alright. I guess it's getting more intense this game. We ran with the last of our strength. Like those who run for their previous lives. Like a doomed person knowing that there is no hope to save his life, will still fight the inevitable and his own fate. I barely managed to close the heavy metal door behind me. Wait, what? I have no idea how deep this bomb shelter is, or if it's able to withstand a nuclear blast. But we have no other place to hide. She gripped my hand tight. Don't be afraid. Bits of the ceiling were falling and the walls were shaking. Is this like his memories from the past or what? I was prepared for the worst, but that is the kind of thing that you can't ever be prepared for. Suddenly, a complete silence fell. It rang even louder than explosions. Maybe it's time to say goodbye. She was whimpering. I wanted to comfort her somehow, but realized that there's nothing I could do. Yes. You know, a horrible bang almost filled my eardrums. It seems that I'm under a piece of collapsed ceiling, but I don't feel any pain. All I want is to not let her go. Okay, that was really interesting actually. I woke up in a cold sweat, short of breath, and gasping for air. It took me some time to come to my senses. It was a dream. It was just a dream. My questioning mind, however, refused to believe it. But who was that girl with me there? I didn't want to let go of her hand so desperately. Sadly, I couldn't recall her at all. The clock was showing 3 minutes past 10. I slowly came to my senses as reality started to stake out its claim on my mind, and my stomach foully growled. Alright, war is war, but lunch should be served in due time. It turned out that Organic Trifna wasn't here. She must have decided not to wake me up. Well, thanks go out to our camp leader for this. After yesterday's adventures, I had to have a rest. Last night was remained a blurry memory which I really didn't want to think about. It's now more important to find something to eat and to wash myself. Exactly, because a pioneer must always be clean and tidy. Though I will agree with this principle even if I wasn't a pioneer, and as a matter of fact I'm not. On my way to the wash stands I met Electronic. He started to wave his hands and ran up to me. Good morning. Thank you for finding Shurik. Without him I don't even... It's nothing, but he's cray, yo. I was a bit embarrassed. No, really, don't be so shy. The Quanti must be proud of his heroes. And what about Shurik? How did he look this morning? Is he alright? So yesterday's craziness, I thought such a question was completely valid. Yes, absolutely. The only thing is that he can't remember and... What? Is he lying? Can't he? I wasn't surprised at all. He says that he went to the abandoned camp yesterday and then woke up in his bed in the morning. I mean, he remembers nothing between those two events. That's really suspicious. Is he like possessed the whole night yesterday? Alright then. You missed breakfast, right? Come to our club. We'll feed you. I have something special. Electronic smiled in a conspiratorial way. Thanks, I'll come, probably. I had to wash myself first away anyway. We'll be waiting. He waved at me and left to carry out his own business. There was nobody here near the wash stands. The water turned out surprisingly warm today. It's been warmed up already, I guess. Having my face washed, I realized that it wouldn't be easy to wash the rest of my body here. Maybe I should go to the showers. But since there's nobody here, turn the tap in such a way so water streamed parallel to the ground, I started to take off my clothes. And what if somebody sees me? Well, I'll wince and dry myself quickly and put on my clothes. The water, which seemed warm on my hands and face, felt bone-chillingly cold on my body. The whole washing process took no longer than 10 seconds and I started to wipe myself quickly afterwards. But I didn't manage to finish anyway. There were voices coming in from the direction of the footpath. The only solution came to me in a split second. I grabbed my clothes and dashed into the bushes. Yo, it's this duo. A moment later, Alyssa and Uliana appeared near the wash stands. You could have done it yourself. Why did you bring me here? Is it a big deal for you? Fine, let me. I peered at them and noticed that they were both covered in wet paint. What a surprise. I wonder how they managed that. Alyssa opened the valve and started to rub Uliana's back. Take off your bra. What if somebody sees us? What, is there anything to see? Yeah, you're just a kid, she grinned. Okay, just be quick. It was true that there wasn't much to look at, but even so I stared at the girls narrowly. It was a pity that they were standing with their backs to me. A minute later, Alyssa managed to wash off all the pain. I'm done. Thanks. You're welcome. Alyssa replied lazily. Listen, let me try on yours. She pointed at Alisa's bra. It won't fit you for sure. Well, I like to try anyway. But out here, there's nobody here, right? Except there is. Oliana looked my way and smiled archly. I was absolutely sure she couldn't see me in this bushes, but enough with this nonsense. Oliana wasn't listening to her anymore and grabbed Alisa's bra with a dexterous move instead. Now I have to confess I had something to look at. I watched the two girls chase one another around the washstands with bated breath. Alisa covered her breast with her hands so I could barely see anything at all. Oh man! I leaned forward and stumbled over a stone falling out of the bushes. Boy, you messed up. Alisa and Oliana stood frozen staring at me. I tried to cover my nudity with my guilty face. Oh, and you're still naked. The tableau lasted for a few seconds. Then Alisa took her shirt and somehow put it on in an instant. You! Her face gone from red to purple. It looked like she would explode in a nuclear blast any second. The only thing I wanted was to disintegrate into atoms and to get as far from the epicenter as possible. He was sitting there the whole time, so she noticed me then. You and I. Well, I accidentally, if you know what I mean. I said, wash at me. Covering my butt with one hand and holding my clothes with the other, I went in the woods. It seemed the best solution to me at the time, as showing up naked in the middle of the camp accompanied by two screaming girls wasn't a good idea. I went without looking back and stopped a few minutes later to catch my breath. It seemed that there was no pursuit. Are you still naked though? So I managed to save myself, by the cost of lacerated, scratched and bleeding feet, as I had no time to put on my boots. I sat on a tree stump and sighed. Sometime later, having dressed already, I left the forest. I need to decide what to do next. My feet are hurting, so I should go straight to infirmary. But on the other hand, my stomach isn't going to wait either. Maybe I should accept Electronic's invitation. Or head to the canteen in the hope of finding something left to eat there. Well, I don't want to spend time with a dude, so let's go to the kitchen. I always took good care of my health, and even better care at the moments when I couldn't bear it anymore, and now I was able to walk, and my feet weren't even hurting much. So my feet will heal up eventually, while hunger drives the wolf from the wood. Surely the pioneers didn't finish up everything. At least a couple of sausages, eggs, or in the worst case a few pieces of bread should be left. It was so deserted and quiet around the canteen that I even hesitated for a second. Isn't it here where every pioneer seeks his happiness 3 times a day, and some even more often? Isn't it an oasis of this heated summer desert? Isn't it a secret chemical lab studying how types of meals unknown to science affect immature teenage bodies? Now this building looked more like a bastion abandoned by its defenders. A kind of La Rochelle left by the Huguenots. Just get in and the ghost of warrior who accepted a heroic death. Here will surround you. The canteen looked the way it always did though. It was just completely empty except for Miku, who was cleaning the table. Seeing that, I quickly turned around and tried to sneakily escape, but didn't manage to make it. Hi Samyeon, did you come here to eat? You missed breakfast, didn't you? I mean, I didn't see you. You could have been there, but I didn't see you. It's good that you came anyway. Hi. Well, yes, I just came wondering if there's anything left, maybe. There's nothing left. You need to wait for lunch. You won't help me, but the way I'm cleaning up here. What for? What do you mean? She puffed up her lips and seemed offended. Somebody has to clean up. We'll do it in turns. You will have your turn as well. Thanks, but no. Okay, got it. I was going to leave, but Miku still couldn't stop. So will you help me? Fine. I don't know why I agreed. It happens so often that you make a decision first and then wonder for quite a while why you did say what you said. I think again and again. I still can't figure out why on earth you did that. That's how I felt wiping the tables one after another. You know, I came up with a new song. Want me to sing it? Not eager at all. No. She started to think. It will be hard to sing and clean up at the same time. I'll sing it later then. Miku gave me a disarming smile. Yes, of course. It's so cool how you saved Shirik yesterday. The entire camp has been talking only about it since early this morning. felt just like a hero. It was nothing much really. No, really, I'm serious. I would never dare to go into woods at night to the old camp. You know the rumors about it, about the camp leader who shot herself. Before they say she hanged herself. It's so scary in general. Yeah, it probably is. I try to isolate myself from external stimuli and concentrate on the cleaning. It helped me to finish sooner than I expected. And now it's done. Thanks. There was quite a bit of time until lunch, so I decided to go for a walk. I picked a random direction which could be explained by a single word: forward. In the end, I found myself at the square. This wasn't a surprise as the monument of Genda appeared to be the central hub of this camp and a kind of kilometer zero. I sat on the bench and started to think. 4 days have passed and I haven't gotten even an inch closer to working out how I got here. It's true that quite a few strange things happened during this time, but almost every one of them can be explained logically after careful thinking. No, not the one with Shurik. That one is not logical at all. Every single one of them could have happened in normal life. Normal life. This term lost its original meaning to me here. Reaction to the environment, the actions and words of other people, or my own words. Indeed, none of this here is normal. In the past 4 days, my worldview had taken a series of painful punches to the stomach, and uppercuts which led to it being, if not knocked out, then seriously knocked down. Sometimes I don't understand why I act one way or the other or say some things. Actually, I do understand, but not straight away. Such afterthoughts, however, don't help me to act differently, more sanely, and appropriate to the situation at all.